We are here in Tribeca for the Beautiful Ventures Brunch and Conversation, cultivating a Black storytelling ecosystem.
Just like even walking in, being surrounded by like dope, beautiful Black people, I was like, ah yes, this is where, and then to know that they're all like creatives in some way, shape or form. It was an intergenerational space, so that was also really cool.
We have the opportunity to come and bask in all that Beautiful Ventures is engaged in, the work that they are doing, and we were able to learn and grow with a collective of amazing people.
Yeah, we were able to be seen, heard, and actually given a mandate to build, and what an opportunity and a beautiful space to do it in, and with Beautiful Ventures.
You'll notice that we are particularly inspired by the Harlem Renaissance, because 100 years ago, right around this time, we're 1924, coming out of the pandemic of 1918, fleeing racial terror in the South to other parts of this country and elsewhere, just like we are doing today, Black cultural production shifted the way Black people were seen and how we saw ourselves at the beginning of the 20th century. And so we say, why not learn from our ancestors and do it again on purpose? That's the work of Beautiful Ventures.
We weren't just artists, but we were beings. We saw each other as being spiritual beings. We saw each other as being divine. We saw art as being a divine contract, in a sense, to say we have to do this because we've been given this, and we have to do this for our Blackness, for our Black people.
Mainstream storytelling reinforces harmful narratives about us, and it affects the material conditions of Black lives. So this is a problem of content, but it's also a problem of process.
I feel that a lot of times as creatives, especially to survive in New York City, you are supporting narratives that you did not curate for yourself. And so there's an agenda that is being put on Black creative.
One of the big things that we do is allow for people to tell their own stories, because it is one of the most powerful things, especially being queer and Jamaican. The story that's always told is really kind of like a trauma porn, kind of like a gaze.
It's like they do just enough to get people seen, and then they're like, oh, it didn't work. Statistically, we know the numbers weren't going to be there.
People want to see themselves on the stage. They want to see some empowerment stories, not just on the plantation. They want to see themselves winning, and they want to see themselves whole.
There were so many opportunities. You know how you have an idea and it sparks parts of the brain? This is exactly what it was like. It was talk about the ecosystem. It was like, yes, this, and yes, that, and yes.
My mother always said, the artist is 10 years ahead of its society. And so we are where we are today because of what we see. Right. And we're in this tension between the remnants of the past, the drivers of the future. And that in that tension space, there are people who, when you listen to them, they sound like they're in 2019. Some people sound like they're in 1919. Some people sound like they're in 16. They talk, right?
We've always been futurists. Our existence is because we've always been futurists. We remember, I am a descendant of Ida B. Wells, Polly Murray, Mary Church Terrell. When you remember Harriet Tubman, it's a part of your lineage. Yes. When you remember that, you're not distracted. Yes.
By design, this system that we live in makes us confused about who we are, that we lose that love for who we are. Because if you don't know yourself, how can you love yourself? How can you be able to show our truth in a positive light?
I've been trying to engage in these kinds of spaces, and by far and away, this has been the most nourishing, the most fulfilling, the most uplifting space.
We all came together to build one another up, to network with one another, to remember that though the system impacts us as creatives, we really are the system. So when we come together, we have no need for anyone else.
It's a space where I can bring the best of myself, but also be made better by the wisdom and the brilliance and the kindness of the other people within that.
We need something that offers us something that's structural, something that we can grow in and we can have a legacy to leave behind. And having an ecosystem that Beautiful Ventures is putting together and has been putting together is amazing.
Yep.